And so we're going to try this week, after the conversations that we had last week. Um, actually, I'll start again. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to PQ Interop call number 24. This is so I know I can trim off the start of the video and we can start from here. So last week we went through, just some high level, like we've been at this for about 6 months. And so we just wanted to level set some of the coordination and make sure that we're all of our async comms, our meetings and everything we're really sort of matching the way of work, the rhythm of business that we're actually in. And so yeah, we started a larger Telegram group. I feel like, we've consolidated a lot of activity into there. There's several threads. And another component that we're trying to do, I don't know, I shipped the meeting minutes from the last call, the agenda for this call, which is what I always do. I tried to break it up so that we're going to really try to be more intentional with these updates, talking about DevNet in and then DevNet in plus one. So really that's like the DevNet that we're in the implementation phase on, and then the DevNet that we're going to be in the preparedness phase on in terms of specs and research. So hopefully this doesn't come across as redundant. We've got an hour-long call, so I thought we would spend the first part of this like doing a review of where we're at with DevNet 2. Seems as if we're really concluding that effort. I'd love to hear from everyone. If we could I'll just kind of go through the normal client updates. Um, Client teams, feel free to like talk about the DevNet status, any blockers, anything that you've got going on there, and then we can take some time to talk about, kind of more high level spec related, tooling related things that relate to DevNet 2, and then we'll move forward to DevNet 3. So again, we'll just kind of kick this off, Zoom team.
Hi, Will. Thanks. And it has been an incredible week. And first of all, my kudos and congratulations to everyone. We achieved DevNet 2, and the cross team effort and collab was amazing. And I'm sure we will even get better at it. And post achieving Interop, we further worked on client for bug fixes and stability. Thanks to Reem and Sharik for the PR, for Snappy Frame issue, and then we updated the API endpoints post a spec PR by Colby. And then PRs were done to improve the client restart sync, fix issues, and further improve robustness. We will probably see more work happening on that. On tooling front, Lean Point has been released, which is analogous to Checkpoint Z tooling for Lean. It is being tested for collection as well as Checkpoint Sync, and hopefully will be deployed to DevNet 2 this week. DevNet 2 long runs are already underway, and I'm sure Katya will give further updates on it. And on DevNet 3 front, Kai has already started working on implementing the DevNet 3 spec on Zeem side, and we hope to put up a PR for the same this week for review, discussion, and based upon it, if any spec feedback requires to be done.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Ream team, any DevNet 2 updates?
Sweet, sweet, sweet. So congratulations to all the clients on getting DevNet 2 Interop. Me personally, I've tested Ream for quite a while against Zeem, Qleen, and Lantern. I do plan to test it against ETH Lambda. I was just trying. I mean, I thought four clients, other clients would just like sync up. I think it would just be fine. But I'm now gonna test it against Lighthouse and Lighthouse, ETH Lambda, and any other clients that are participating in this DevNet 2. And Grandine. Grandine is participating in DevNet 2. So we encountered some issues when we ran against Zeem. We encountered some issues when we ran against Qleen. Some of them were related to like syncing. Some of them were related to like status API, status requests not being sent properly. So we've got all that handled. So Ream, Zeem, Qleen, and Lantern, at least on my local build, consistently every time gets. I haven't tested syncing as much, but consistently finalizes and justifies. Uh, And beyond that, we had a wonderful presentation by O this week. We were approaching lean multi-sig from a developer's perspective rather than a cryptographer's perspective. So somewhat high level, somewhat digestible. Uh, Great work there, O. And moving forward, we're working on we use feature flags to allow for the next DevNet and for the current DevNet. So we're slowly working towards removing the feature flags for DevNet 1 and adding feature flags for DevNet 3. So work on that front can begin, and we'll be participating in developing the spec as well. That should be all from the Ream team.
Thanks so much, Rick. Clean team.
Hey, everyone. Yeah, congrats launching DevNet 2. Yes, so yeah, on our side, we were debugging, syncing a lot with other clients. Yeah, we noted some kind of discrepancy between spec and the sync protocol for blocks, yeah, between spec, Zim, and Ream. So basically, wanted to kind of clear this mess and yeah, open the PR to the spec today. I think Tama created a new better PR and it is already merged. So please, all the teams, check it out so that yeah, we are compatible. Yeah, we checked the compatibility of sync protocol against Zim, so it's working. So now, in case some accident like we had during one of the testing by Katya when the clean was restarted, so that yeah, we can actually synchronize with the network with no issues. So yeah, now we should be good with that. So we kind of more stable. Yeah, just today we merged the DevNet 2 metrics as well. And yeah, I think that's kind of all regarding DevNet 2 on our side. Thanks.
Thanks, Camille. Lantern.
Yep, thanks, Will. Hi, everyone. So yeah, congratulations on DevNet 2. So I guess on Lantern side, mainly just been like bug fixing. It's been really helpful from Katya to get the feedback and the logs, and I've just been trying to fix those bugs. I guess I did notice this week, I did notice some discrepancies from the lean spec and the client implementation. So what I did was added support for like legacy like if a response is being received from clients that is not compliant, I still added support for like fallback handling of those requests. And as well as been improving syncing. And yep, as well as looking forward to DevNet 3's fix. That's my update. Thanks.
Thanks, Mahir.
So just a question about this. So right now, I guess that the problem you mentioned is about like the SSZ stuff with the signatures that we discussed beginning of the week or this weekend. I don't remember, but now all of the clients are spec compliant on this point, or you are still in the older version?
Yep. So I guess in my local testing, I noticed that for gossip payloads, no one was trying to process containers that contain the signature field. It was missing offsets. So I guess it might be possible that like other clients have fixed it. I can test it again. But yeah, I've just added it in case, to prevent breaking the finality in the network. But yeah, I can test again. Yep.
Okay.
Anyone from Lighthouse on the call? East Lambda.
Yep. Hello, guys. On my side, this last week we had DevNet 2 support. We thought attestation aggregation and IRAID verification was missing before. As part of this, we also implemented the RPC API with the new endpoints, the one with versioning. And we also added most metrics from Lean metrics, with more coming soon. Also, we added IDB, so the memory consumption should be more stable. And yesterday, we joined our first DevNet. We already had our first non-finalization to debug, and that at least the issues we found there should be fixed with the new image we just published. It mainly adds active block fetching through request response. It also fixes an issue we discovered on the status message. We were using the wrong size on the payloads. We don't yet support inbound block requests, and that's what we'll be working next, and with checkpointing following that.
Great. Thanks, Tomas. Congrats on joining the DevNet. Anyone from Game on the call?
Yes. So we just rounded up working on the implementation of DevNet 0 spec. We're currently trying to catch up with support for DevNet 1 this week.
Excellent. Grandine.
Hello.
Hey, Silas.
Yeah. So so we worked on the DevNet 2 integration and fixed some issues, and so far I think it kind of interops. Likely there is some small details needs to be fixed, but yeah, we are progressing.
Wonderful. And then finally, anyone from Nimbus on the call? Great. Okay. So moving forward, do people feel like DevNet 2, are there any blockers or discussion items that people would like to discuss? Any spec changes? Basically anything that needs to be discussed to conclude the part of the call on DevNet 2?
I think on spec front, things are mostly frozen, and I think most of the things that we will work upon will depend upon the long runs that we are conducting on it. So basically fixing issues and on stability. But I think we can now move our focus to DevNet 3 spec-wise.
Great. Perfect. On that front, yeah, go ahead, Thomas.
Just I have sent just a link in the chat with the PR that we have merged 2 days ago, I think, just with new test vectors for a lot of situation with signature aggregation. So nothing is mandatory there, but I think that this can help you to debug and maybe to find discrepancy between your client and other client, or your client in the spec. So just in case this is helpful for you, we have added a bunch of new test vectors for you to consume.
Thanks, Thomas. Okay, regarding the DevNet 3 specification, are there anything that we want to jump in with the spec? I know last week we had the additional readiness checklists. Also, did that get merged into the high-level guideline for DevNet 3?
I'm not sure about the checklist, but I think last week we had a breakout call on DevNet 3, and I think maybe tomorrow also we can have another breakout call on DevNet 3 spec. And because we had a lot of confusion regarding how 3SF would work with basically our interval sort of dedicated for aggregation, and I think we need to sort of discuss this and take it to conclusion. So maybe we can have another breakout call tomorrow.
I think we need to, just to give a context for everyone, I think, last week we kind of had a call where one of the things that was proposed to change in 3SF in DevNet 3 is kind of move updating safe target from interval 2 to interval 3 to the last interval, so that we kind of have more time for signatures to propagate, also so that we can actually aggregate signatures and kind of have time to also broadcast aggregation so that we can update safe target based on the kind of aggregated proofs. However, as I said during the call on Thursday, I wanted to kind of consult with some consensus guys who were working on 3SF, and they sent some pushback so that they were against of kind of doing that. They said there are reasons why updating safe target or fast commit, as they call it, like should happen at interval interval 2, or sorry, basically where it is right now. So if we want to, I think, discuss this, we need to discuss maybe at least Francesca, so that he can explain the motivation. On the other side, maybe there is some feedback from anyone, like how much brain cycles we should actually spend on this, considering that there are ongoing efforts with some new consensus mechanisms.
So as basically said, we basically need safe target to be calculated before new attestations are imported, and that needs to happen before the proposal begins for 3SF to work correctly. So the simple thing I think we can do is maybe we can have 5 intervals, so that the aggregation now happens in I think in the second interval, and in the third interval we do the target calculation, and then in the next interval we import new words. So if we do that, basically, the interval is going to shift to 8.8 seconds, which I guess is fine. But as such, the entire scheme will properly work. The reason I'm saying this is because in aggregation, when you are reporting the aggregated attestations, then you could have imported attestations that you did not see earlier because maybe only aggregator saw them. So target calculation, in my opinion, needs to be done after the aggregated attestations are published. So if we just go by this approach, and if we just don't try to optimize it any further, we can just divide the slot into 5 intervals.
Okay, maybe let me write it down, what you're suggesting. I think I understand, and then you'll confirm my understanding, and I can check again with consensus guys. I'll try to invite them to our chat so that they are on sync with everyone.
So maybe on tomorrow's breakout call, if we can invite them and sort of finalize this thing, I think it would be great.
Yep. Let me check on them. So what time you're proposing? Like the same time as today's meeting?
I think this time works for everyone, so I guess it's good.
Okay, let me check. Not sure how much they're available.
Sorry, could you repeat who's missing from the call?
It would be great to kind of have a call tomorrow with Francesca, I believe from EF. If he's available. He has expertise on 3SF.
If there's
potentially
anything
can change
that
a bit the spec.
I was going to say, if there's anything that we could discuss here that might move it forward, there are some people, Justin's on the call, that might have context. Tama, basically,
that's
I want to make sure
the
that
thing.
we make use of this time also.
Right. So the thing that we want to discuss is this 5 interval solution, so that we don't really need to change anything structurally in 3SF and have an extra interval inserted in just for aggregation. I think this is the simplest solution.
Sounds good.
So anyone, any of the researchers want to weigh on that?
I don't have a strong opinion. I think talking to Francesco is a good idea.
Yep, same on me. And also, like, maybe we have to keep in mind that 3SF is not probably the final solution, and all of the research that are happening at the EF with Francesco and other people, we will probably move to something else in the future for shorter slot and faster finality. So probably the good idea is to take the simplest solution for that, knowing that we will move to something else in the future.
Are there any estimates maybe you have in your head, Toma, like when you think we can integrate new consensus mechanism? I'm just asking because like the changes that we're doing now, if we just doing them for short term while we are not testing the devnets of size like 1,000 validators or more, I think we're good with any solution. But if yeah, we kind of want to, I mean, if we implement some solution and we stick with it for a long time, and we already want to scale for many, many nodes, then yeah, it gets problematic. Kind of, yeah. If we chose the wrong approach, yeah, we could end up like so that scaling is problematic.
I guess that's probably Justin, like you have a better sense of the timeline there, but from what I know from the theoretician guy at the foundation, I think that we will have like kind of a fast finality paper solution in a timeline from 6 months to 1 year from now that we can implement something like this, no?
Yeah, I agree. It would probably take months. One piece of good news is we have Ben Edington that joined us recently. And the idea is for him to kind of product manage the fast finality, and it's going to take some time just to get him up to speed. Maybe a month or two. Yeah, I mean, I lean much more on the 6 months than the 12 months. I'm hoping that we can move fast. You know, maybe 4 months even could be possible. But yeah, I'd say nothing faster than 2-3 months.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just so that, for example, if we introduce 5 intervals in our 4-second slot, then each interval is 0.8 seconds. And for example, if in some point in future we have subnets of size 1,000 validators and we considering the aggregation rate of 1,000 signatures per second, then yeah, we can already have interval smaller than the time available for an aggregation. Just an example of how yeah some changes in design could affect when kind of yeah scale make scaling more harder.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, you know, going back to Tomas's point in terms of keeping things simple, maybe we could just cheat a little bit and increase the slot duration in the short term, because a lot of the slot optimizations will only be meaningful once we have a good picture of how to decompose it.
So I sort of agree that if we need to increase the slot time a little bit, we can do that. But I think even before that, we can start running DevNet on increasingly number of validators so that we can see how the performance is. Also, I'm assuming that the performance of Lean VM will go multifold in coming months, and we can at least for now throw a little bit of more hardware if that is a requirement. But I mean, as of now, I think let's just increase to 5 intervals and then start increasing the number of validators and see, okay, where is it that we hit the roadblock and then figure it out.
Okay, good. Yeah, let me just propose to Francesca the 5 interval solution. I think, yeah, it should be good enough even. And if he agrees, yeah, maybe we don't even need to have a meeting. I can update a spec for committee aggregation and yeah, get rid of this global attestation topic, which I think people are not very happy with. So yeah, it will make a bit simpler the spec.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Yeah, 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 I'll work on that.
That's great. And I'm always feel free to nudge me. I can make sure if there's someone that would add value to unblock the group to, try to see if they can make it to this call. So like Francesco in this example, I could always make sure that we get him on this call rather than taking another hour of your time tomorrow, which is sounds like we'll be able to move this forward async though, which is great. Great. Any other like open discussion topics on DevNet 3 specifications?
I just updated the existing pull request so that all the tests are passing. But as we just discussed, yeah, the PR might be updated. So it actually might get simpler. Yeah.
Great. I also wanted to just take a moment and see if there's any new client onboarding questions from ETH Lambda, Geen, Nimbus, Grandine, teams that are sort of newer to the DevNets specifications. If they had any questions that they wanted to try to table, get answered from the rest of the group.
Yeah, I think for June, the specification has been very readable and self-explanatory. So so far so good. So it's, the spec has been helpful for now.
All right. So I think we're maybe winding down. Could people just kind of quickly, like some of the team leads, give us a sense of what the plan is for the upcoming week, in terms of any additional study sessions or milestones that you're hoping to complete? I think, shipping DevNet 3 is obviously a little premature between now and then, like what are the incremental steps that you're all are, really focused on?
So our number one, I can go first. Our number one focus, we'll continue debugging issues that arise on DevNet 2, and hopefully we reach finality with all seven clients. As we have tested with some clients locally, we will continue testing and ensure that DevNet 2 finalizes. Everyone is syncing. Beyond that, we are we're improving our code base to work for DevNet 3, so we can start implementing and shipping DevNet 3 once the spec matures a little bit. As for study sessions, we do not have one planned for this week. But we do have something in the works for Koala Bear, so I would keep an for overview of Koala Bear, the prime fields, I believe. So I would keep an eye in the Ream chat for that.
Amazing. On Zim side, so adding to what Sharik said, apart from DevNet 2 long runs and debuggings and fixing issues related to that, I think we are trying to bring up the lean point tooling for checkpoint sync, and hopefully the clients who have implemented syncing and who have also implemented providing finalized checkpoint states, they will be integrated to it, and hopefully syncing through checkpoint sync could be tested on DevNet 2. So that will be up to Katya and Partha to take it forward. We are anyway working on DevNet 3 PR, and we hope to finalize the spec post Kamil gets an update on the interval, and hope to make a significant progress on its implementation. And apart from that, regular updates, the regular work that is happening on further improving the robustness of the client. So that is going to be our focus.
Yep. So on the Lantern side, focus going to be on DevNet 2 stability. I'm basically going to be implementing some optimizations in CPU and memory usage. And as well as because in my local testing, I could get the checkpoint endpoints working for justified and finalized routes. But yeah, I'm eager to see any feedback from the Zim team when the lean checkpoint tool is used on Lantern. So yep, that's on our side.
Okay, yeah, for clean, yeah, so now DevNet 2 scope is finalized, and yeah, we have actually running clients. Yeah, we will take clean as kind of last time, so and use it for some networking analysis to kind of simulate some larger networks than we have in our DevNet environments. Yeah, in parallel, there is some ongoing research and development going on by our team members. So we exploring Reed Solomon propagation for proofs. Like we already wrote a very small simulator. I'm just, when my time permits, yeah, developing some beautiful Jupyter notebook so that the results are kind of beautifully visualized. But yeah, so that we just can have some direction what else to introduce on networking level, so that when we scale we kind of know what to do. Also some of our team members exploring things like proof of validators, so that it actually will be helpful at some point in also long future, so that in our Gossip sub networks we actually only deal with validators. Other peers like syncing nodes, they are not part of the Gossip subtopic, and we actually reduce number of hops required. So many directions where we're exploring on the networking side. But yeah, once any results, yeah, I will share them.
And for Grandine, as this is the Lean client is just a side project for now. We don't have dedicated people working on that. So we, for a near future, I think we will just focus on minimal stuff that we need to do in order to participating in the DevNets. So yeah, that's so far our approach.
If Lambda is still catching up, our focus right now is mostly DevNet 2 stability and implementing checkpointing. That's still missing for us. Yeah.
June, the priority right now is catching up on DevNet 1. So that'll be our priority for now, moving forward.
All right. I'm going to be out next week. So Tama has been kind enough to offer to lead the call. But yeah, it sounds like everyone's got a full slate of work between now and then. Camille.
Yeah, just before everyone go, just want to ask an opinion. Like, we're introducing this checkpoint sync thing, but do you think that on the longer term, like we need to introduce some proper sync protocol on top of libp2p, because currently checkpoint sync, as I understand, it kind of works on top of HTTPS, and usually it is used for kind of users to check, I don't know, the health is to health check or check the state of the peer. So I don't think this is kind of the right thing to do in the long term, so that peers are using like, so we are not using P2P for the syncing, but we're actually using this HTTPS. I don't know. So just any thoughts on that? Does it make sense to consider implementing sync protocol on top of libp2p, or we want to stick with this?
So just to add my 2 cents over here, this will use libp2p on top of it, because checkpoint sync will give you the finalized state, and then you will need to use block by routes to come to head and basically then sync it. The reason, uh, in my opinion, other sync protocol or a sync by range is not required, because most of the clients actually don't do it. If you look at what is happening in Beacon consensus, you always have to start your node using checkpoint sync and then proceed forward on that. Long range syncs are not really effective, especially because when the data availability gets expired, you can't really even sync beyond that window. So that window is already small from the point you can actually forward using range sync. And so ingredients of running the mainnet nodes, I mean, even for example, starting syncing from behind 1,000 slots on the mainnet network has been a bit very problematic. So in terms of practical usage, I always try to use checkpoint sync whenever my node restarts, just because PRS and data availability has sort of put a lot of strain on this. Maybe it will improve in future, but as of now, I think for us, we don't need to complicate our syncing scenarios. Checkpoint sync, basically the aim of having checkpoint sync is that, the node restarts and all these things are managed easily. And even if, for example, your node goes down, it can be put back up and we can keep having finality on the devnets. So that is sort of the main reason behind checkpoint sync. But checkpoint sync by itself is not the final solution, is not the only solution. You still need to do block by routes P2P sync.
Yeah, that's true. I just assume at some point in future, maybe, yeah, I'm not super deep, the ZK stuff going on, but I assume, yeah, we might take advantage of that somehow, so that we actually, once we connect via some P2P protocol to the peer, we just, I don't know, yeah,
So
maybe
in
there should be
fact,
some special kind of
in
peer.
fact,
Yeah,
right. In fact,
yeah,
with ZK proofs, you don't even want to do long range syncs, because you would just want to do a checkpoint sync,
yes.
because the proof of the correctness will be available. And basically, you know that this particular state is correctly constructed. So the checkpoint state is correctly constructed. So in fact, it would not even it would not make sense to actually go back to renting at all.
Yeah, I don't know, for some reason I'm not super happy that we kind of use API for both P2P communications and kind of user-to-peer communications. I don't know, like when user asks, I don't know, sends transaction or asks for some state.
Right. So it could happen that the checkpoint sync could, for example, move from an HTTP API to a P2P API in the sense that peers can start serving you state on the format of how it's done for SnapSync, right? So there could be a point where we would have SnapSync sort of a thing for the CL state, but the state is not big. I mean, but we can still expose a state API on only P2P RPC. I mean, even though the state is going to be huge, not for us lean clients, but for, let's say, mainnet clients whenever we go to that. So we will have to basically think what is the correct solution for it. And I am sure even in the mainnet beacon consensus, people are thinking over it. And I think one of the proposed solutions could be to adapt SnapSync to this. But I mean, I guess that is a problem I would let them solve first, and then we'll adapt, unless we have something to leverage on lean consensus to basically provide a solution.
Yeah. So there are, so long term, we could use P2P. I'm just thinking, so if we spin up HTTPS port, we need to manage like another secret, another certificate, and like when you are node operator, you're already managing your P2P key, your XMSS key, and now they also, to set up a proper CTPS, there is also another thing to manage. And if they don't need to do this, because some, for example, validators today, they don't care like about exposing their API so that anyone can access them. They don't do this, and I would not, if possible, long term, I would not create such a requirement for validators to kind of manage more things
So
they do.
if you want to do this, if you want to do this P2P, then probably you need some sort of SnapSync adaptation. Obviously, you can't just expose an API endpoint where you need to serve heavy data and state over it. So in that sense, I'm not, I don't think that this can just directly be ported to P2P.
That's fine. I mean, in Polkadot we do this. We actually there are states of size of multiple gigabytes, and we download them over the P2P when we synchronize. We call it warp sync. So we download all the proofs of the blocks, and then we download all the actual state, and then we build the Merkle root and compare it. So I assume CL clients or EL clients, they do something similar.
Yeah.
So
So
it's
it sounds
not a
like
big issue for
an
P2P.
adaptation. Yeah, it sounds like an adaptation of SnapSync to me, but I would need to look at it further. Yeah, Mihir?
Yeah, it's very similar. So also considering that there is ongoing work on ETH P2P, there is also that's also something that one of the use cases that we need to keep in mind. So we need to synchronize some huge amount of data.
I would actually.
And if some peers they actually don't want to support this protocol, they can just disable it. So for example, only archive nodes can actually use this protocol, but the nodes need to be able to find them, and that's the beauty of P2P. You can actually check which protocols are supported by any nodes. So
I would actually be in high favor of being able to serve some sort of checkpoint state past a certain range of routes. Like before that, the data is pruned, so like all the routes cannot be queried for, sort of like weak subjectivity. But like thing is in consensus layer, you have centralized providers that are hosting servers, and you can download the checkpoint object from their server. But like if we made it so that you can like checkpoint sync using libp2p with some solution, then even if all the providers go offline, it will be possible to sync the node with the network. So yeah, I'm definitely in favor of something like that.
I mean, this is definitely something worthy to consider in long run for sure. But I mean, as of now, I think let's say for the next DevNet, I don't think this can be our focus. I mean, I'm not talking about DevNet 3 now, I'm talking about DevNet 4 because I'm assuming DevNet 3 is now under implementation.
Yeah, I agree. This is not a small piece of work to implement this protocol properly on top of libp2p. Yeah, I'm just trying to get some alignment on what we want to see long term. Yeah.
All right, and on this note, I mean, now that we are talking about DevNet 4, so can DevNet 4 be based on recursive aggregation? My question to Amel, Toma.
Sorry, I didn't hear the end of your question. Can you repeat, please?
Yeah, so now that we are considering that DevNet 3 implementation is underway, so let's talk about DevNet 4. And for DevNet 4, my proposal is that we do recursive aggregation.
Yeah, I think that I'm not sure that Emily is there, but I think that it is under like recently we merged with the announcement of the new team. Emil merged the simple branch on main on lean multisig, and so I think that with this, even if some improvement, speed up and stuff are work in progress, right now we can have like 2-to-1 recursion. So this is something that we can definitely integrate, I guess, into DevNet 4. By then, I guess that Emil will be able to achieve some speed up since he works full time on this. So yeah.
Awesome. And just throwing it out there, can DevNet 5 be based upon improvement of the finality gadget?
This
Just
is
throwing it
all.
out in the space.
This is also possible, definitely, but I guess that for this we will have to sync with the consensus team at the EF. Of course, my goal is also like to implement it as soon as this is written on a paper. But I think that right now they are iterating on the design. Several stuff are under investigation with various protocols. And so, yeah, but as soon as this is finalized, at least with a theoretical paper, then yeah, definitely we will spec out.
Sounds good. And I just wanted to throw it out there because, I mean, just to sort of align things, whatever we need to in the meantime.
Yep. I guess also like this will be easier when we have the paper for the fast finality thing to spec into the lean spec rather than specking into the consensus spec, because the consensus spec is more larger and like much more complex. So yeah, as soon as we have the paper, we will definitely plan this for a future DevNet and spec it out, hopefully in a couple of months, like we mentioned with Justin.
One piece of context here is that there's been a very significant effort internally to the protocol cluster to integrate Lean with all of the incremental upgrades. So, we've been talking within the architecture team, but also in collaboration with the whole protocol cluster. And one of the artifacts as part of this exercise is a strawman roadmap that kind of tries to place everything on a single timeline. And this exercise has been hugely helpful, so that like all of the various teams, for example, the consensus team, the networking team, the steel team, can all feel like the lean fork plays a part in their work, in addition to all of the incremental changes. So this is something that we're still actively working on and trying to reach full alignment within the protocol cluster. But I'd say it's been a super helpful exercise. One of the things like I guess I could share tentatively is that there's a little bit of a coincidence where it looks like the L star fork might be the top candidate for the lean Ethereum fork. So that would be around early 2029. I guess another useful thing is that we have all sorts of new hires, very strong hires coming in. So I already mentioned Ben, the consensus team. We have someone coming in from PSC to work exclusively on private transfers. So that that's going to be integrating with the lean VM. We also have a potential cryptography hire and a potential networking hire. And I think all of these hires kind of from day one will have the lean consensus context, and the meme, if you will, of lean consensus is very fast seeping into the entirety of protocol. And one of the other outcomes of this exercise is kind of realizing that lean VM is a potential tool that helps harmonize not the CL with the other layers, the DL and the EL. So in some sense, what started off as a tool for the consensus layer might be an essential tool for all of Ethereum, including the private transfers, as I hinted at. So I've been quite quiet in January, but expect a lot of lubrication to happen February onwards, at least internally within the Ethereum Foundation.
All very exciting. Yeah, Gadinder, thanks for prompting those questions about DevNet 4 and 5. And if there's anything that we can do to think about that finality gadget and try to front run some of those conversations with some of the consensus researchers, always happy to help make that connection if it needs to be made.
Just maybe a final word on this, like on the fast finality stuff, just like for your information, during the Christmas holidays, I have started to run like a fast finality playground Python stuff, just to start speaking. For now, we have like 5 to 6 algorithms, and this is private because this is not published results yet. So I need to wait before these results are published on the paper before making it public. But just to keep you informed that I already have like a spec in Python with those multiple algorithms. And so, yeah, this was the first step toward like specking.
Before we wrap, Mercy, you dropped a link to the pull request with the readiness checklist in there. Is there anything that you wanted to voice over on that?
Yeah, good afternoon. I made a PR so that we can take a look at the checklist we have, and then if there's some another update I need to make on it, then I can include that and then match this. Then I have like a template for each of the DevNet. So as time goes on, it will be updated, if that is okay.
That's perfect. Thanks very much. Yeah, if the team leads could and others could review it, just make sure the content is correct. That would be very helpful. Gotcha.
Yes, hello everyone. Just quick Dev2 coordination. So we are in the tooling chat right now, in the tooling channel, and we are going to restart the DevNet not like maybe once a day until we don't have like stable finality for long-term DevNet. So I'm posting a message. So if the client is ready, if the image is ready, please let me know. So we will coordinate it there. So like once a day. So feel free to let me know. I hope everyone's happy with the Grafana and etc. And now it's visible for all of the clients and logs, etc. And the downloading logs will be delivered soon. Thank you.
All right, all. Any last thoughts before we call it a day? Excellent. I will see you in the trenches.
Thank you.
Take care.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
See you.